Hello everyone and welcome to our discussion about poetry. Poetry has been one of the oldest and most powerful form of human expression. It allows us to capture emotions, experiences, and stories in a creative and meaningful way. Today, we will explore what poetry is and the elements of poetry. Poetry is deeply connected to our emotions. When we are at the height of our feelings, we often turn to poetry either by reading or writing it to express ourselves. Many of us use poetry as a way to release emotions and share personal experiences. William Wordsworth, a well-known romantic poet, described poetry as the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. It takes its origin from emotion, recollected in tranquility. This means poetry begins with strong emotions, but it becomes art when those emotions are reflected on calmly. Poetry is an effective vehicle of artistic expression. In fact, it enables a person to have a deeper understanding of how language can be utilized to creatively communicate with other people. In order to create an eloquent and absorbing poem, you should first be familiar with the nature of poetry and its elements. This lesson will help you to discover them. So here are our learning competency and our learning objectives. Poetry is a special form of art that uses words in an imaginative and expressive way. It is not just about telling something directly, but about showing emotions, ideas, and experiences in a powerful and creative manner. It can be written, spoken, or even sung, and it often uses rhythm, sound, and imagery to create an impact. Poetry can also take many forms. It can follow traditional rules, or it can be free and unconventional. In short, poetry is more than just words. It is a meaningful expression of thoughts and feelings turned into art.
Okay, so ngayon ay dadako naman tayo sa the nature of poetry writing. So, poetry imitates the real world, mimesis. So, yung mimesis po ay meaning it imitates the real world. So, poets use their experiences, feelings, and observations in life as inspiration, even if it's symbolic or imaginative. Poetry still reflects reality in a creative way. Next po ay poetry makes the familiar strange. Defamiliarization. So, poetry uses defamiliarization, which means it makes ordinary things seems new or unusual. So, through unique words and images, poetry helps us see everyday life in a fresh and different way. So, ang sunod po ay poetry expresses the thoughts and feelings of the poet through images, emotional expression. So, poetry is an emotional expression. It shows the poet's thoughts and feelings by using images and creative words. Instead of saying emotions directly, poetry paints a picture that helps readers feel and understand them. Okay, so poetry utilizes figures of speech, figurative language. So, poetry uses figures of speech or figurative language. These are special ways of using words like similes, metaphors, or personification to make ideas more vivid and creative. Through this, poetry goes beyond plain meaning and gives deeper impact to the reader. Okay, yung sunod naman po ay poetry separates itself from prose, poetic form. So, poetry is different from prose because it has a unique form. It often uses lines, stanzas, rhythm, and sometimes rhyme, which makes it stand out from ordinary writing. This special form helps express ideas and emotions in a more artistic way. So, yung sunod po ay poetry describes anything through proper choice of words. Poetic description. So, poetry uses poetic description to show anything in a clear and creative way. By carefully choosing the right words, poets can describe people, places, feelings, or events beautifully. This makes the poem more vivid and meaningful to the reader.
So now let's dive into the structure of poetry, the verse. A verse is a unit of poetry, like a line or stanza. The number of lines in each stanza and the number of stanzas in a poem are called the vertical measure. For the next one is the meter, a unit of poetry that refers to the number of syllables in a line. So the meter refers to the pattern of syllables in a line of poetry. According to Harman and Hollenpan, 1996, it is the recurrence in poetry of a rhythmic pattern or a rhythm established by the regular occurrence of similar units of sound. A line also consists of a set of metrical feet which has a specific number of syllables and particular pattern of emphasis. The number of syllables and metrical feet within a line is known as the horizontal measure.
Structure of poetry. Rhyme. Words that have the same or approximately the same final sound. A rhyme scheme or rhyme pattern is present if a set of rhyming words are in the poem. So that rhyme is when two or more words and the sounds and its make the poem pleasant to read. Line break. Line break is the exact point where the poet decides to end one line in a poem and to start with another. There are two types of line break, the end spotted line and the enjambment, and the end stop line is a line that end the sentence or the clause in a poem. An enjambment is a line that has an incomplete sentence or clause. So, line break is a place where a poet ends one line and start a new one, which help control the flow and meaning.
For writing tips, to write a poem with a set of rhythm, choose a type of meter, pattern of stressed and unstressed syllables. Start your lines using that pattern and count the syllables carefully. By following this method, your poem will naturally take the form of meter you want.
So now let's dive into the different types of poetry. First, we have lyric poetry. This is more personal and emotional. It expresses the poet's inner thoughts and feelings. Originally, lyric poems were performed with the accompaniment of a lyre. It is a string instrument, which is how it got its name. The second one is narrative poetry. This form tells a story complete with the characters, plots, and events. Famous examples includes epic and ballads. It's like storytelling but in poetic form. And lastly, we have dramatic poetry. This type is meant to be spoken or acted out. It's emotional, expressive, and often written like dialogue in a play. It tells a story, but the focus is on performance. Now let's talk about connotation. Connotation is the idea or feeling we associate with the word, which is different from its dictionary definition. For example, words can carry private or personal connotation. It is based on an individual's own life experience or national, racial, or linguistic connotation, which is understood by a specific group of people. And lastly, universal or general connotation, which are recognized by almost everyone. For example, the word snake. Its denotation is simple, a type of reptile, but its connotation can mean something more, like calling someone a traitor. This shows how words in poetry can carry emotional or symbolic meaning beyond their literal sense.
So now let's dive into the forms of poetry according to rhyme scheme. So the first one have the monorhyme or AAA is a type of poetry in which the lines in a stanza ends with words that have the same final sounds. So this monorhyme has all the lines in a stanza but ends with the same rhyme. So for the next one is the alternate rhyme. A or ABAB is a type of poetry in which the lines in a stanza follow an alternating rhyming pattern. Alternate rhyme, the stanza follows an alternating rhyme pattern, where the first and third line rhymes, and the second and fourth line rhymes. So for the next one, we have the unbound or ballad quatrain, or ABAC or ABCB. Is a type of poetry that has 4 lines with varied rhyme schemes. Or it has a 4-line stanza with varied rhyme patterns. For the next one, we have the double couplet or AABB is a type of poetry that has 4 lines in which the first and the second lines have terminal words with a similar final sounds. Or it has a 4-line stanza where line 1 and 2 rhyme and line 3 and 4 rhymes.
So next is form of poetry, according to length. Couplet refers to a pair of successive lines in poetry, or poetry that has 2 lines. These lines often rhymes and work together to convey a message or idea. Next is tercet. Tercet is a set of 3 lines in a stanza or a type of poetry that has 3 lines that are not monorhyme. These lines might rhyme but they don't have to. Tercets are great for short and sweet poems. Next is quatrain. Quatrain is a set of 4 lines in a stanza or a type of poetry that has 4 lines. This form is popular because it's long enough to tell a small story or express a feeling, but short enough to stay focused. So next is a quintet. Quintet is a set of 5 lines in stanza or a type of poetry that has 5 lines. This form is great for telling a tiny story or capturing a moment in time. So next is sestet. Sestet refers to a set of 6 lines in stanza or type of poetry that has 6 lines. This form gives poets a bit more space to explore their ideas and emotions. So the last one is octave. Octave refers to a set of 8 lines in a stanza or a type of poetry that has 8 lines. This form is perfect for telling short story or developing a theme in more detail.
Okay, so ngayon ay dadako naman tayo sa the traditional types of poetry. So, unang-una po ay ballad. Ballad is a type of poetry that narrates a story. So, a ballad is a traditional type of poetry that tells a story. It often talks about love, adventure, or strategy, and is usually written in short stanzas with a song-like rhythm.
Haiku is a form of Japanese poetry made of 3 lines. The first line have 5 syllables, the second line has 7 syllables, and the last line has 5 syllables. It is usually short but very meaningful, often focusing on natures and emotion. Next is the limerick. A limerick is a 5-line poem that is often amused or humorous. It follows a specific rhyming pattern, which is AABBA, meaning the first, second, and fifth line rhymes with each other, while the third and fourth lines rhyme with each other. The next one is the sestina. This is a more complex type of poem. It consists of 6 stanzas, and each stanza with 6 lines, and it ends with a short concluding stanza called envoy. A sestina does not focus on rhyming but instead repeats certain words in a set pattern, making it a very unique and challenging to write.
So now let's dive into sonnet. Sonnet is a type of poetry that has 14 lines. A sonnet is a traditional type of poem that is made up of 14 lines, usually with a set of rhyme scheme and rhythm.
The traditional types of poetry. Terra rima is a type of poetry that is composed of a set of interdependent tercet. Terra rima is a rhyme scheme in poetry with the pattern ABA, BCB, CDC, DED. It used 3-line stanzas, and the middle line of each stanza rhymes with the first and third lines of the next, creating a smooth chain-like flow. Villanelle is a type of poetry that is composed of 5 stanzas, each having 3 lines, followed by a 6th stanza that contains 4 lines. A villanelle is a type of poem with 19 lines. It is made of 5 stanzas with 3 lines, each followed by 1 stanza with 4 lines. The poem has a fixed rhyme pattern and 2 lines are repeated several times throughout the poem, it giving it a musical and blank verse. A blank verse is a type of unconventional poem that consists of lines that do not rhyme with each other, however is follow a definite meter. So, blank verse is a poetry written in the unrhymed lines of iambic pentameter. This means each line usually has 10 symbols. Following a DA dumb rhyme, even without rhyme, it still sounds formal and structured. A free verse is a type of unconventional poem that is free of rhyme and meter. So free verse is poetry that does not follow a strict rules of rhyme or meter. It does not have a regular rhyme, so it flows more like natural.
Literary texts are always open for analysis and interpretation. Readers, writers, and literal critics use different kinds of approaches and theories to help them understand and appreciate the text they read. So in short, literary texts can be understood in many ways. Different approaches and theories help readers and critics analyze and appreciate works, like William Blake's The Lamb. Lastly, for our writing tip, you should gain confidence as you interpret a poem. Remember that your interpretation is as valid as others' interpretation. Also, bear in mind that the more you become knowledgeable about poets and poetry, the better you will be able to analyze poems. In short, when interpreting poems, be confident. because your understanding is valid. The more you learn about poets and poetry, the better you can analyze them. So that was it for our report today. I hope you learned a lot of lessons from us and thank you for listening. Bye-bye!